Hello. So, I'm about to open up Doom, but before I do, I need to post the link to my Facebook. Oh yeah, and also I told my friend Andrew I would text him when I was joining live. So that's why the screen is black, by the way. So before you, so that's why. Okay, the Stream Elements bot is running. Alright, I just sent that to him. Let's open up Doom. Alright, plenty. So, at the Career Center tonight, it's prom. I don't know if Andrew is actually at prom. He might not actually go to Texas, which is a shame. But I posted it to Facebook so somebody can come and watch it. So I actually tried to do this last weekend, but then I remembered that my mic. But then when the stream was over, my mic. I noticed that my mic wasn't on for the entire fucking thing. Needless to say, I was really upset. So I guess we're doing now. Yeah. As is customary, this is going to be very much a ramble because that's how live streams tend to be with me. As anyone who watched my Dark Souls 2 stream would know. Oh yeah, so my very first live stream I ever did, that wasn't the stupid Google Hangouts thing, back in like 2013, was a stream of Dark Souls 2. So the story to that was, basically, my dad told me that I should try to play the first Legend of Zelda game, and I couldn't even make it through the first dungeon, and I gave up. And my dad later that day challenged me to try to play through the first couple missions in Dark Souls 2, which if you've never played it, it's a fucking hard game. It was a really fun stream. I really enjoyed it. And basically, so that's really my first time I ever did a live stream that I actually wanted to do. And like Aston, my friend Aston even came and watched. So it was fun. And like all of my streams I've done thus far, it is on my channel as a VOD. I actually remember we had to do it in a very strange way due to the parental controls on my account that were set up in a certain way on PSN. Basically, due to the way the parental controls work, the way we had to do it was, I had to link my YouTube, my Google account, to my dad's PlayStation 4 on his account, and then once we got the stream rolling, we would switch users to my account, my PSN. And we actually had to do a little bit of a test stream before this to make sure it was still working. And it was, thankfully. And then after that, we then had to do all of that, and then that was when I was able to load up Dark Souls 2 and stream it. It was very wonky. So that's how that was everything that went into the Dark Souls 2 stream. Just the production of it. But yeah, it was real fun. I had my face like in it. It's the only stream so far. It's the only like actual live stream post 2013 so far where it's had my face. Apart from like the beginning of the first Doom stream, that one had my face. But like nothing, but like none of my other streams have because I don't know what it looks like because I only have one monitor. Which is actually really annoying. I really want to. I have an old 1600 by 900 monitor that would be a perfect side monitor, but it's in my brother's room on a shelf that I can't reach. So in other words, it's a pain in the fucking ass to grab. So I haven't gotten it. And more to the point, this computer doesn't have a DVI port. And that monitor is a DVI monitor. So, I would have to do it. So I would have to use VGA, and I fucking hate VGA. Because I've noticed since it's an analog connection, that means the connection is more prone to just not being complete. I mean, like with DVI, it's in the name. It's digital. So that isn't too big of an issue because with digital, you either did it all or you did nothing. But with VGA, it's possible to end up where one color signal is not correct. Because even like the VGA cables can carry different signals. Like I know there's some monitors, particularly I think from Sony, that do sync on green. And I don't know if my motherboard can do sync on green. So I hate VGA. I mean, I'm sure it was great in 1987 when it came out, but now it's annoying to deal with. I mean, yeah, I know in like 1987 or whatever, it was like it was the shit because like everyone because EGA took a fucking long time to ever come out. So the majority of people were still stuck with 4-color CGA, and thus they happen to have a composite monitor, which they didn't. Because this was the IBM PC. This was the IBM PC, not a fucking Commodore 64. So nobody would use an early composite monitor. I know that's a generalization. Very few people would ever use a composite monitor on an IBM PC. Because most TVs in the 80s didn't have, that people were using of course, didn't actually have like composite ports. So composite wasn't very useful. So unlike today where everyone has a composite port on their TV, because it's been like the standard since, because composite analog video is just the standard analog video because nobody wanted component apparently. Which is sad because composite sucks, honestly. And I don't miss it one bit. But yeah, so yeah, since everyone had composite in the 90s, but they didn't in the 80s for the most part, no one had a composite monitor for a computer. Nobody wanted to use their IBM PC with their living room computer, with their living room TV. What was this? A Commodore 64? No, you did real work on the IBM PC. You didn't plug it into a TV because that's not for real work. Or something. I don't know. I wasn't there, but also I don't know what the fuck I'm blabbering on about that we don't do real work on the TV, honestly. Honestly, by the late 80s, an original XT class IBM was probably relegated to what the kids could use. Because it was 4.77 megahertz, and by like the late 80s, that was nothing. Because, I mean, you could get like 9 megahertz 286 by the end of the decade. So you would give the kids the 8088. Because that was just how you do, yo. That's just kind of how it is. Like, I mean, even when I was like 4, the computer I used was a hand-me-down that my dad took from the place he worked at, because there was no computer that they couldn't use anymore, so they just gave it to him, and I got it. It came with Windows 2000 originally, but when I was using it, it had Windows XP. Specifically XP Professional. Because my dad always buys the professional versions of Windows because he tends to need the remote desktop. Due to his job thing. And if there's one thing you don't know about Windows Home Editions, like I think right now it's just Windows 11 Core or something. I don't know. Microsoft changes what they call the various versions of Windows like every single release. It's absurd. As an example, there was no Windows Vista Professional. Oh no, that was Vista Business. And you upgraded to it from XP Professional, and the next version of Windows you'd have to upgrade to was Windows 7, and that had the Professional and not the Business. This is absurd and I don't understand it. Seriously, Microsoft, why? Do you just hate everything? Well, I mean, considering you now install Facebook by default on the professional, like, business view of Windows, probably. Seriously, Microsoft, I don't want Facebook installed on my computer when I boot it up. I'd rather not have to think about Facebook at all. Balls. Because it's Facebook. Why would I want that on my computer that I do work on by default? If I want to use Facebook, I'll go to the website myself. I don't need the app on my computer. No, I mean the app on the phone is somewhat handy because Facebook on the site sucks. Probably by design, honestly, because I mean, it's Facebook. Would you put that past them? This is the company that thinks that people want the Facebook portal, like, camera thing. Nobody wants a Zuckerberg remote eye. Nobody wants to give the Zuck remote access to what's going on in their home via camera. Because of course they don't. The only things Facebook are really used for now is just wondering why you still haven't cut all ties with your racist uncle. And I don't know, arguing with your racist uncle over on Messenger. That's what people use Facebook for, right? I don't know. Old people use Facebook because nobody else would. Because you have to be at least this percentage of racist to be able to use Facebook. that's my experience with Facebook. At least I don't know. I'm sure there's some leftist spaces on Facebook that are worthwhile, or even just some non. I know there's at least one non-political space in general on Facebook that's worthwhile, and it just posts 2 pictures of possums, and that's the best page on Facebook. What a great website. You can't see my face because I don't have the face cam on, but I am not convinced that Facebook is a great website. If you could see my face, you would see that. But you can, because I have a perpetual fear that I look like a goblin. And if I can't see it, I'm not gonna change it. Because when I'm doing this live stream and stuff, I don't want to look like a goblin. I'm not Jim Sterling or whatever. No, wait, no, those are Bodlins. My bad. God, I almost forgot how much of a maze this level is. I don't know who to find out, but I'm just gonna have to guess it. I hope it's. It looks like it's Sandy Peterson. Oh, is that a Van Gogh? Got the Waz jokes. This isn't America, this is Ohio. Etc. Oh yeah, Scott the Waz is, you've probably heard of him if you're watching this, honestly, but just in case, he's been one of the fastest growing gaming YouTube channels. He's from, Toledo, I believe, Toledo, Ohio. He's great. And he's also a fellow Ohioan. I don't know if this is good or bad, to be honest. Because Ohio sucks, but, I mean, it is also where Scott the Waz is from. Which I guess is a silver lining of some sort. I know whenever I say, like, oh, Ohio is shit, some people say, it can't be that bad. You have no idea. Oh, friends, you have no idea. Ohio is just... I saw a meme the other day, it was like, things to do when in Ohio. Number 1, leave. Yeah. That is the only correct response to getting the news that you're somehow in Ohio. Leave. Any other response is the incorrect response. That is just how it is, because Ohio is shit. Don't believe me? Well, if you really want to if you hate yourself, move here and then wonder why you bothered, because it's fucking Ohio. There's just nothing. Ohio is a nothing state. I mean, I live in a particularly rural part of Ohio. I live in southeastern Ohio. I live in Morgan County, Ohio, which is in the cultural region of America known as Appalachia. Some people pronounce it Appalachia. I want to smack those people with a fist. Because it just, Appalachia has never felt like a word. I know it's like, for some reason considered a valid pronunciation. It shouldn't be. Appalachia sounds stupid. Because it is, of course. I mean, it is fitting, considering it's a very impoverished area with an education system that can best be described as nothing. My school that I go to, went to before I started going to the Career Center, is Fort Wright High School. Our finances at Fort Fry High School can best be described as no. It's apparently our financials are so dire at Fort Fry that we're trying to sell Salem. So that's pretty dire, I would say. When you have to sell a school because you're just hemorrhaging money so much that you can't afford it. Yeah, if we do independent self-Salem, this would be the second time we've had to sell the school at Fort Fry. The first one is down the road from my house, Center Elementary, which was sold to some guy to live in. Despite the name, Center Township is very much not in the center of Morgan County. It is the furthest east settlement in the entire county. So definitely not in the center. It is as much in the center as my politics are in the right, in terms of like the right wing of the political spectrum. It is not. Because I mean, politically speaking, I'm about as far left as a human can possibly go. I'm an anarchist. And Center Township is about as east as you can get in Morgan County. So there's that. Yeah, so the place I live in, the place name is literally a lie. That's a great sign, isn't it? I live in Center Township. No, not the center of Morgan County. I just live like in a place. It's called Center. It's actually in the east. No one can explain this. Believe me, I have tried to look for a rationalization. All I got was beans. Or something. I don't know. I live in Center Township. I don't have the ability to make sense. No one does. It's Center fucking Township. If we had time to make sense here, we wouldn't live here. I am personally of the belief that living in a rural area is not a good idea. Because, like, well, for one thing, they tend to be more closed-minded and racist. Or especially, I have to deal with, NB-phobic. In other words, discriminatory against non-binary people. I am a non-binary people. So I get to deal with that. I get to deal with the kind of bigotry that you would expect from an area that I just described as NB-phobic. Can't even imagine how they would react if I was a trans woman. I mean, I imagine a lot of people in this area would probably just collapse into a mist. Because, like, that's just my whole mindset. I mean, that is what they seem to do whenever the prospect of a gay shows up. Like, if you're in any way a minority group, don't live here. Seriously, for your own well-being. Don't live here. You will only find bigotry. There's my dad, who used to live in this area before he moved. Why is he decided to fuck off? Said on Facebook the other day. We're the most welcoming people in the world. As long as you conform to our ideas of politics, gender, and race, you will fit in just fine. Since I am generally a hard anti-capitalist, and generally left-wing in general, and don't conform to the traditional gender role, I do not fit in here. This is the main, like, when it comes to police, and the fact that they don't have a reason to exist because they've proven themselves to not be capable of having the responsibilities that come with their existence. That's a foreign concept here. The idea that the police are bad. You would think an area consisting entirely of impoverished people, because there is no money to be found here, there is nothing to be found here, would be able to recognize that the police are just bad and generally detrimental to people in poor areas or things like that. But I mean, then again, this is also majority white area. There are not many few. There are very few like minorities. So, am I surprised that this is a very pro-police area? No, I'm not. Because I mean, this area, every a controversial topic that there is, we choose the worst one. Like, I mean, Appalachia, like, specifically, like, the area that I have to call home, was one of the most solidly pro-Trump areas in the entire state. And Ohio is a red state with, like, the single pocket of blue, Athens. Like Athens County. So, I mean, there is that. I mean, yeah, like in, like, bigger cities like Columbus, it is a Democratic thing, but I think, like, Franklin County, I think it's the county that surrounds the Columbus area, is still pretty hard Republican. I mean, like, I know some people are going to say, we have our own conservative traditions and we can't have the corrupting liberal influence. You would think an area that's also majority Catholic in a country that has a long history of anti-Catholic sentiment would just understand why exactly the U.S. government has a long history, just how exactly the U.S. government has a long and storied past when it comes to being against certain, well, some people would say ways of life, if you... I mean, like, yeah, now Catholics are considered to be good, hard, red-blooded patriots. But, I mean, it wasn't all that long ago that they were considered to be a potential foreign influence on America who were actually loyal to a far-off pope. Ooh. Who would try to rise up and overthrow our traditions. Oh. So yeah, but that history's been lost because I mean now the target's been changed, and now we focus on Muslim baiting. I mean, I'm also an atheist, so that's another way, but I'm not welcome here, or much of anywhere in the U.S. for that matter. Atheists, statistically speaking, are as trusted as Muslims are. Yeah. That's pretty low, I would say. In other words, we aren't trusted at all and are considered to be un-American. Whatever the fuck that means. Like, as in like a foreign influence? Is that whatever the fuck that means? Like foreign? In favor of, I don't fucking know. Yeah, so like blue, red butted, huh? Alright, so I now know what to do. Hard-working, red-blooded American patriots. That's what Christians are. And if you're an atheist, or worse, a Muslim, you are un-American and a foreign influence that threatens to destroy our Western traditions. So one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard like conservative activists say is that you shouldn't be around America if you wouldn't take a bite out of a pulled pork sandwich. So Jews aren't American either? Yes, alright. Oh wait, no, they're allowed to because Ben Shapiro is Jewish and he's a conservative. But if you're a Muslim, no, you aren't American. You've been born here and lived your entire fucking life here, of course. So that's always fun. Have you ever stared at the face of death? Have you ever stared down the face of death? So, another thing. So, I'm using Slackware Linux right now, if you care. I'm sure someone cares. And if you don't, you hurt my feelings. So yeah, so one of the things about Slackware is it doesn't have dependency resolution by default. And you need something, and you need a program, you need a alternative package manager to have it. I'm using one called Slapped.jet, which emulates the functionality of the apt suite of software that is available on Debian. And one thing is, in order to have dependency resolution for the Slackware packages, you need to have what's known as DEP files, which are lists of the dependencies of that package. Now, Slackware repository by default doesn't have them. However, there are third-party repositories that were originally meant for other distros, but just so happen to work perfectly on stock-ish Slackware. One distro that is based on Slackware but fully backwards compatible with it is Salix. Slight issue though, I am using Slackware Current. And Salix is still based on Slackware like 14.1 or something from years and years and years ago. However, I found out there's a fork of Salix called Slackle, which is based on Slackware Current, and also just so happens to have a repository full of dependencies because it's a fork of Salix, and that has. So I decided to set that up today with Slapped. It works great. And I'm happy I did that. Again, if you don't understand any of those words, that is okay. I'm just trying to accept the fact that very few people understand much about life. Or especially like about Linux and stuff, because of where I live. Where there are some people to whom the idea that computers are a thing is still somewhat of a new idea. And since they don't know and since they can't be used to do cow, they're not interested. Oh, actually another thing. If you're not interested in farming or know how to cow, don't live here. What the fuck? Yeah, so that's like my advice. If you don't know what cowing is, if you don't know how to like do farming or things, don't live here. It's mostly rural. It's a rural area. There's a lot of agriculture and stuff. And if you don't know how to do that, there is nothing here for you. Except of course for racism. I mean that's here. There's a lot of racism here. I mean, I know there are some people out there who are like, I can't be racist because I've been nice to a black person before. Yes, there is a very specific reason I'm not using the phrase I can't be racist. I'm not using, like, as a straw man argument, I can't be racist because I have a black friend. There is a very specific reason. So when this VOD is uploaded, don't like put that like in the comments or whatever. Like, oh, he said he's avoiding me having to be racist if I have a black friend, whatever. I know why I said what I said. We're just gonna leave it at that. There's a very strange and long and just confusing story about why that is that I don't want to get into. So we're just not gonna. This is a strange stream as usual. I mean, if you watched my previous stream or my Dark Souls stream all those years ago, I don't tend to be very good when it comes to saying things on topic. I mean, much of my last stream on Doom, when we played through the entirety of Knee Deep in the Dead, was me ranting about how much I hate Adobe. Oh, which by the way is entirely valid, because Adobe sucks. So, I mean, that's why I ranted. That's why I ranted against them for so long. Because I hate their software. And I'm going to be industry certified in them. So I can tell you that they suck. Because I'm going to take tests in them. Adobe software. It's buggy, it's slow, it causes unexplainable weirdness sometimes. It's the reason the Netscape plugin API lasted so long, despite being an awful design. It created so many security issues. It convinced millions that their computer had a new update for Flash Player that they didn't know that didn't actually exist, so they downloaded a Trojan and installed a bunch of malware, and their data was stolen by Venezuelan criminals or something. That's how that works, right? Yeah, that's the country we're still demonizing Venezuela, right? Bye, bitch. Thank you. God, I'm at 11. I should save. That's why I saved. God, this level's long. I don't know why this level is so long, but it is. Where are they? That would have been helpful. Oh well. So yeah, so another thing. Why are racism? Like, seriously, like, why are people still racist? Did they miss the memo that racism have people just not heard that racism is evil or something? I mean, wait, why am I asking? I know the fucking answer. The answer is yes. I mean, I live in a textbook example of that. I live in Appalachia. Racism land, as I prefer. Because, well, there's a lot of it here. A lot of nasty racism at that. I would argue that all racism is nasty racism. But that is a set point, I think. I don't recognize this place. So, yeah. I think after this, what the fuck? Oh fuck, fuck. I'm getting mauled, fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh god, is this the boss for the level? Only on the Dance About My channel will you hear such insightful questions as, why is racism? Or, are forks evil? I can't say our horse is capitalism because a YouTube channel that I am a fan of Thought Slime already said that, so... killing. Something he said, and I don't want to listen to him. I'm not an ass, so I'm not gonna do that. So yeah. Before someone says that I should do another capitalism joke that goes like more like crapitalism, I've already done that before, so I can. Oh shit. Horses are not real, right? I know in Doom 2 there's a enemy. No, why is it enemy? They're called demons in Doom. What the fuck? It's similar to that. They're the PG, but it's brown, and rather than firing fireballs, a dick. It instead fires those heads, the lost souls. The annoying thing is, since it spawns them, actually, not just fires them, that means that that demon can never do infighting with another demon. In other words, if it attacks another demon, it won't matter. It won't do anything. Because technically it didn't attack the demon. The lost soul did. So it's great. I fucking love it. I should have known that was going to happen.
What the hell's the point of that? I don't know.
I'm sorry I'm not talking much. I'm really tired. Oh god. Excuse me. Excuse me there. I deeply apologize.
So one issue me, someone who is non-binary and exactly know how Octoface is ridicule. Specifically of the kind of bullshit that other like trans and other non-binary people get in rural areas where it's like, oh, where they say things to your face like, oh, I identify as a tree. Or say, huh, what John, do you have a penis or a vagina? You know, just like that kind of shit. I mean, I don't understand this. Like, no one doubts cisgender people's gender identity, but like, if you're trans or non-binary, why should that be a reason to have your gender identity valid? Is it just because it's different? I know the answer, by the way. The answer is yes, just because they're different. Fuck, why didn't I save? So I already know for certain when I get to the final boss. one of the things you have to do is save, because you will die a lot when you are fighting the cyber demon. Oh, spoilers.
Well, guys, yeah, I guess it's gonna be the end of the stream today. Thank you very much for watching, if you did. I don't think anyone actually came in and viewed, but, you know. But still, thank you very much. If you were when you were watching this VOD, I will see you all, next